Hey guys, Joe here. This week is going to be a little bit different on Brews and Blasters because, well, Chris and I are pretty much hut size right now, recovering from amazing Thanksgiving meals that the two of us both had at our respective families' houses. So we're digesting, but we didn't want to let a week go by. So we pulled something out of the fridge and gonna give you a little bit of leftovers here. So we have an amazing interview with Vanessa Marshall, and we played a little bit for you last week. But I think it's time to play the whole thing, because there was a lot of great discussion from a whole roundtable of different podcasts and other news outlets. So without further ado, we'll play that. Just one quick thing before we get into the interview. Be sure to check out brewsandblasters.ninja. That's going to be where you are able to find out all the information about the show, as well as order brand new t-shirts that we have available over at TeePublic. So head over there, get your shirts, get everything you need to know. If you need to email the show, you want to get in contact with us, everything is right over there. That's brewsandblasters.ninja, because we were crazy enough to actually buy .ninja. Yeah. Anyways, have a great Thanksgiving. Be safe, be smart, and, eat up.
Who wants to dive in? Is that Adam? I think I heard Adam.
G'day. How you going?
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. This is Adam from Jogcast Radio.
Yay!
And my biggest question straight up is, obviously you've been a fan of the saga before becoming a part of it. What was it about Star Wars that really garnered your interest in the first instance?
Well, I think ultimately the entire space opera took hold of me. I think Princess Leia sealed the deal in terms of being a strong female character. I absolutely loved her, and the story itself grew on me. And I was an English major in college, and I love stories and myths and theater, and the idea that we can all sort of heal through stories, and the mythic elements really spoke to my soul, which is why it's such a sacred thing to me even today. And in fact, this is the most exciting time to be a Star Wars fan. Honestly, it's like I've never, ever, it's like my skin's on fire. I cannot wait for the premiere. Yay!
Yeah, you're not alone in that thought.
I know, we'll all be together simultaneously freaking out. Oh,
Amen.
It's going to be great.
It'll be a full Zoe freak out.
Yeah. So is Zoe there?
I am. Hi.
Hi, Zoe. How are you?
Good.
Wonderful. It's good to hear your voice. And hi, Eric. And hi, Keith.
Hi,
John.
Vanessa.
Hi. All right. Anyway. All right. So go for it. Any other questions?
Yeah, this is Sean from the Tiki Talk.
Oop.
Go ahead, Sean. All right, sorry. Yeah, Sean from the Tiki Talk. So Hera's
Hey,
name
Sean.
comes from Hello, how are you?
Good, good.
Good. Hera's name comes from a Greek goddess whose name actually means protector. Do you think this is an accurate description of Hera's role within the crew?
I do think so, actually. I think she is a protector. It's interesting how she leads she leads quietly, which has a kind of elegance to it. What I love about her and what inspires me about her is how she can protect them, but also be so fierce and calculating at the same time. She manages to get so many things done, and she does so somewhat effortlessly without a lot of chatter. So, that and her sense of humor are pretty much awesome. But yes, I don't think it's an accident that her name is synonymous with those details, definitely.
Cool.
Hi, Vanessa. This is Eric from Twin Suns Transmission.
Eric, with the coolest collection in the world.
Yeah, we got to get you out here to see it. It'd be awesome.
Please. I live for that. Absolutely.
Next time you're in Chicago, for sure.
Done and done.
A couple of weeks ago, all right, perfect. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking with Dave Filoni out at Rancho Obi-Wan, and it was just kind of a casual conversation, and we got into discussing pilots. And so I was asking him, who's a better pilot, Han Solo or Hera? And Dave basically ended up saying, well, Han is better at speed and maneuverability, but Hera's better at combat. Now, after seeing last night's episode, Wings of the Master, it's basically like Hera can't do anything wrong as a pilot. Now, how do you feel about Dave's assessment of Hera's pilot skill?
Well, look, okay, I think Han is a better pilot, personally. And I think she did a fine job last night, and that's wonderful. But I sort of bow down to Han Solo, and I kind of think Hera would too. That's interesting that Han wouldn't be quite so versed in battle as perhaps Hera might. But I remember before I went to Dragon Con, I asked Pablo Hidalgo what he thought, between the two of them, who was better. And we were, comparing their ships and stuff like that. And he said that as far as doing the Kessel run, she would do a respectable time, but never 12 parsecs. So, I take that from Pablo Hidalgo, and I'll go with what he said. Han is a faster pilot.
Cool. Well, at least you're comparable. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he said I would do a good enough job. However, Han would definitely have her beat. So, what he said.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Vanessa, this is Chris and Joe from Brews and Blasters. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah. So, first of all, just wanted to congratulate you on such an amazing episode last night. Wings of the Masters was probably our favorite episode to date. And, that's
wow.
Largely in, response to your performance. And I was just kind of wondering if there was any sort of direction that Dave gave you going into this episode that might have informed, what your performance, especially, some of the longer sequences that you had, when you were speaking with the character Quarry and so on.
Well, what's interesting is my father is actually a pilot, and he was in the Air Force, and he learned how to fly an open cockpit biplane, and he does aerobatics. And so I've hung out with him and also his pilot friends, and they have the same ideology and worldview that Hera espouses in that one monologue. My dad very much feels the same way, that he always wants to be up in the air, and that, there's a reverence for that level of perspective. And so I kind of brought that familiarity to it of my own accord. I actually was talking to Dave Filoni today, and he said, so, have you heard anything? What did people think? I never keep track of these things. And I said, well, yeah, it seems like everyone liked it. And I just found Pablo's quote, by the way. He said, Hera would do it, the Kessel Run in 14, respectable, but not a record. That's a quote. Just to answer that question completely. Okay. But getting back to what Dave said today, Dave said that he has an uncle who also was a pilot. And it's interesting, I guess he was very familiar with that ideology as well. And he sort of did it as an ode. The character Quarry was sort of an ode to his uncle, who was a pilot and had a hangar and all that stuff. So we actually didn't talk about much prior to it. he really trusts us to kind of do our thing, and if we mess up, then he'll come in and say this or that. But he really trusts our instincts. And there's, as I was talking about the way Hera leads sort of silently and gets great things done, Dave, I find, is the same way. He would rather me tell you that he's a taskmaster and a beast, but I think it takes, I think it was Lao Tzu who espoused that which is brittle breaks, and that there's power in yielding. And I think true leaders really understand what it means to allow people to be sort of where they are and who they are, and trust that rather than get in and control and manipulate. So I think we both sort of met somewhere in the middle of our life experiences and co-created what you heard. Somewhat unwittingly. I didn't know about his uncle, but that made a lot of sense to me, that he knew it enough to write it, and I knew enough about it to say it from my heart. And I actually dedicated the performance to my dad.
Wow.
And it meant a lot when he called me last night and said how much he enjoyed it. That really touched my heart.
That's absolutely amazing. Really, thank you so much, and that's so amazing.
I love my dad. I really do. I love my dad so much. He's awesome.
And
anyway,
absolutely nailed the episode. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Thank you. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you.
Hey, Vanessa. This is Chris.
Hey.
Oh. This is.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to. Yeah. Go ahead.
This is Chris, also from Brews and Blasters and the Collector's Hut. And I just want to say that you're doing such a great job, and every episode keeps on getting better and better. And I love.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. and I love how there's so much of you in Hera. I feel like you're a real life Hera. And with that being said, did that make it easier for you to get into character?
Yeah, I think who was I talking to the other day? And I was saying that I think having had the experience of flight with my father, having the training in martial arts since, I think I've been doing that since 1998. But I've done like Aikido Jiu-Jitsu and MMA training and straight boxing. And there is such a chess game that goes on in the sport of boxing that I think learning how to survive in a ring kind of prepared me emotionally to simply stand in front of the microphone and be her. I think all things sort of came together at once. My love of Star Wars and my own life experiences that are very similar to hers in a way. I personally plugged into some elements within the Rebel Alliance and their fight for those who are suffering. I sort of plugged into elements that are going on in our modern culture. I made it very specific in terms of how much I care about those things, and everything seemed to work out. I told you, or I've said in other interviews, that I didn't know what the script was when we were auditioning it, but it felt so much like Star Wars to me that I pretended it was Star Wars because I know that so well. And luckily, it in fact was Star Wars. And I sort of hit the nail on the head. And so it was kind of a glorious, beautiful accident. And really the best thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. So...
That's awesome. Well, I mean, honestly, your performance is so, it's really on point. It's perfect. You're like a natural leader.
Oh, well, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey, hi, Vanessa. This is Kyle from, Ghost Transmission. This season seems like everybody's kind of getting their character moments, and you guys are really getting to know your characters. What has it been like for you and you guys working as a cast to really get more into the characters, and how has it brought you closer together? And I wanted to follow up. I had a conversation with you in DragonCon. I just want to make sure you got your Foodie Rebels t-shirt.
Yes, I did. In fact, I tweeted a picture today some members of the cast, because I didn't see everyone at the same time. But yeah, if you look on my Twitter feed, I did get my Fruity Rebel shirt, and so did everyone, and we love them. We are thrilled. They're so great. Yeah, Crystal's amazing. What a brilliant artist. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you.
Hi, Vanessa. Oh, yes.
Go ahead.
Hi, Vanessa. It's Dave Senden with Red 5 Ghost Transmissions. I just want to say the episode last night was fantastic. And, you know, probably the best episode I've seen so far this season.
Wow, thank you.
You know, to say that right up on par with Big Daddy Vader is saying a lot.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know, right?
Thank you.
I'll say this. When you were having the moment when you were talking to Tori and talking Hera's past, how much of, I don't know, maybe a particular Ryloth Clone Wars arc, how much of that informed what your performance would be?
Well, you know, in season 1 of the Clone Wars, we obviously get a pretty close-up look at exactly how the Empire is maligning that particular culture. And I think she grew up with Hera Syndulla as her father, very close to a lot of the action. I think most of the battle was on the ground, and it's interesting that she, you know, eventually came to be a pilot. But I'll tell you, for my own personal research, and I do love to sort of see things again and again to really study the nuances, I went back and rewatched that arc in season 1 of the Clone Wars, and it very much informed my performance. And I, like everyone else, thought, oh my gosh, maybe Hera's Numa, the little girl that they find, or the little Twi'lek. And obviously that is not Hera, but but Hera was nearby. And so I think, having grown up in that culture, I think it very much informed her values, as she said. And we'll learn more about why specifically she left her family to, you know, fight bigger battles, I guess, as the season goes on. I put that thing
right up there with when Kanan had his meltdown of, you know, the clones, and you don't know, you weren't there.
Yeah.
Actually taking Ezra back.
Oof, yeah. So I'm
that's
like, some heavy stuff. Yeah.
You and Freddie for those.
Aw, yeah. Freddie's amazing. Man, he is just so funny. I watched that episode and I emailed him and I was like, the co-irritating line killed me. You know, I want to be a co-pilot. You two are co-irritating me right now. Oh, that was classic. And then my second favorite, or maybe even my first, was never get between a Mando and a weapons package. I was like, oh, God, I love Sabine. She's so wonderful. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. We love all of these characters.
Yeah. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
Especially the seventh sister, because it makes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Freddie, Sarah, Vampire Slayer, or Jedi? Please discuss.
Oh my gosh! Well, she killed it. She nailed it, and it was really funny, you know, because obviously they're married, you know, but it was so cool to have her there. She's so mellow and kind and generous of spirit, and I mean, she just fit right in the family right away.
Yeah.
There wasn't a trace of vampire as far as I could tell. I don't know that she'd be a Jedi. I think she'd probably be more Sith, but
at least in my own personal canon viewing, I can count Buffy as canon.
There you go.
It's just like an Elseworld version canon.
Nice. That's awesome.
Hey, Vanessa. This is Rick with Lining Up Presents Q&A.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey there. Good, thanks. Kind of following up with those last couple conversations there. I had heard that from an interview with Freddie that he had some surgery while you guys, or right before you guys started doing your recording, and that apparently Sarah did an awful lot of Freddie's voice for some of your group sessions. I was just kind of curious what that was like for you guys.
Oh, that's right. She did, actually. Yeah, she did a pretty good imitation of him, as a matter of fact. Yeah, sometimes they scratch the lines, as placeholders, or they, just to help the actors interact with one another. And she pretty much nailed his swagger. That was awesome. I forgot she did that.
I was curious how it worked because, I know that you guys do that group recording session, which obviously adds a real dynamic to your performances. And
sure.
While she obviously knows Freddie backwards and forwards, I was curious how that impacted the performances at all.
Oh, we just had a good time. I mean, she was mocking him. I think he had hurt his neck, probably doing his jiu-jitsu or something, really noble and manly. But apparently what did him in was he turned some weird way in the shower. And she was just like, oh, man, I mean, come on. She was sort of mocking him. We were like, he's having major surgery. Let's go easy on the guy. You know what I mean? But she was kind of...
That was my follow-up there, was that were you sparring with Freddie, and that's how he got hurt?
Oh, yeah, right. No, that guy would choke me out in 2 seconds. That dude is no joke. Blackbelt.gov. That guy, forget about it, dude. He doesn't even have time to fight you. He'll just choke you. I mean, he doesn't even dirty. I come in there and my hands are all bruised from boxing, and I mean, I look like I get into it. My hands are not looking very graceful and feminine at the moment. I look like I beat the crap out of a bag. And Freddie he makes fun of me. He's like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Dude, I'm boxing. He's like, oh, God, just choke people out, Vanessa. And I look at him
that's
I don't
awesome.
really think there's a lot of cardio in choking people out. I'm doing it for my health as well. So, anyway.
That's great.
But yeah, that guy has so much power. It's amazing. I mean, he really is a Jedi. And guess what? Today, he brought fresh apple pie. How cool is this guy?
I saw him baking that.
How cool is that guy? I mean, he can choke someone out and bake. What? Freddie rocks.
He's running the kitchen on the coast then, huh?
Oh, he is so awesome. And he has a cookbook coming out, and I keep begging him. I want a copy now. I love to cook also. I don't bring apple pies anywhere, but, Anyway.
That's great. Thank you.
Hi, Vanessa. This is Alan from Santa Tiki Talk.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Hope you are. With the popularity of Ahsoka Tano, Captain Phasma, and obviously Hera, how proud are you that you're a major part of the rise of these great female characters in the Star Wars canon?
Oh, I'm deeply honored. Deeply honored. And, I think Sabine is right up in there. Many of these female characters, even the Seventh Sister, a lot of them, and more to come. Like I said originally, it's such an exciting time to be a Star Wars fan, but, I've said before that at this point in the narrative, the Empire is oppressing so many people of so many races that actually gender is somewhat irrelevant, which is kind of refreshing. It doesn't matter. It's either you're in the Rebel Alliance or, you're an Imperial enthusiast. There's no in between, and what race and what gender you are is, can you use a blaster is a better question, or, do you have a connection with we need fuel and we need food. How can you help us? But so it's an interesting time where it really doesn't matter about gender. But when that falls away, these really cool people, these great characters come forward that are interesting. They're all equally interesting, male and female. But yes, it's an absolute honor to be among them for sure. Absolutely. So is Zoe there?
I am.
Hey, Zoe.
Hi.
Hi. What's your question?
So, how do you feel about the growing prevalence of females in Star Wars fandom?
In the fandom or in the saga? In the fandom.
In the fandom.
Oh, how do I feel about it? It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. No less. Yeah, I think it's wonderful. I adore Ashley Eckstein, and I'm so grateful that she created her universe, because now I don't have to go to Target and get boys' shirts anymore. I still go to Target because that's just going to happen. I love me some Target, but it's really nice to be able to have all these different fashion options that, I don't criticize anyone for thinking that girls don't like this stuff. I don't really care. The point is that we are consumers, fangirls, and I think that message is getting across. I've seen a lot of commercials on television with regard to Star Wars fan gear, clothes, all sorts of things that include a lot of younger girls, and it's so wonderful to see that, because this saga really does appeal to people of all ages and every gender. So I think it's fantastic. And I think someone asked if I was a sci-fi fan in general, and I said yes. But what I love about Star Wars is that there's sort of this instantaneous family feeling, as if I've known people all their lives. I can't explain it, but I see a dude in a Millennium Falcon shirt, and I make about 12 million assumptions about this person, and I have no problem walking right up to him and high-fiving him and going, dude, can you even wait for December 18th? And anyway, but that's so I love that we can all do that together, and definitely that there are more fangirls out there. It's great.
So a follow-up question, I guess, is do you think you're becoming a leader in the movement of making girls in the fandom more noticed?
Oh, I don't know about that. I think I'm alongside, because that's what's cool about this is I don't think we're all in this together, I mean, I don't think anyone's leading it. If anyone's leading it, I would say Ashley Eckstein is definitely killing it in terms of uniting us. When she says, that we can, be who we are and live our dream and this and that, and, she's giving us permission to just let it all live, I think she's definitely leading the way with, she's getting all kinds of other stuff from Marvel, and, what does she say? Dream your world, be your world, flaunt your world. My goodness. She's just such a beautiful person inside and out. I adore Ahsoka. I cried when I met Ashley because I had to fangirl out for a minute because I just couldn't help it. I'm embarrassed, and a lot of people make fun of me, but dude, she's Ahsoka. Come on, man.
Exactly.
And but once I got past that, and she's so kind. She brought us all sweatshirts to the record session, and she's just such a lovely person that I would tip my hat to her and thank her for how she is leading the way for all of us. And there you have it.
Vanessa. Vanessa, it's Rick again.
Hey.
Hey there. So I was just, I know obviously you've been going on about the whole through this, and we've all known it for years that you're such the huge Star Wars fan in and of your own self, and going back to the beginning. And my group is the group that's doing the lineup here at the Chinese Theater.
That's you, dude. We have to get this together. I'm bringing you food. I'm bringing you pizza.
That's awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, man.
And I know the rest of my group can't wait too.
Oh my gosh!
I love you pulling a
You have
JJ
got
on us.
to okay, wait. Well, okay, yeah. Contact me through my website. We're doing this.
Okay.
I don't think I can stand in line for the whole time, but I can definitely feed you guys.
Yeah, well, we're going to be there. We're doing the 12 days of Star Wars, so we're going to be there for 12 days.
Dude.
But
awesome.
My question for you is, obviously our thing is we're about the communal experience of camping and getting to meet people from every walk of life.
That's awesome.
What kind of line experiences have you had with Star Wars? Is there anything that stands out for you with one of your previous screenings?
Oh, Phantom Menace. Yeah, Phantom Menace. I think I might have seen like a 4 a.m. showing the first night, and we stood in line what felt like forever. I mean, they basically just played Phantom Menace around the clock.
Yeah,
and,
I remember. I was there.
yeah. Well, then maybe we were in line together. This is all gonna. This is such a beautiful thing.
It comes full circle.
It does. Yeah, it's interesting. I had a boyfriend at the time, and he was 6'7", and I would always call him Chewbacca, just because that's for me it's kind of affection. And I wanted to fully have a Star Wars wedding with him. It never panned out, but anyway, we stood in line together. He was so
Star Wars
awesome.
wedding.
I mean, it was great because he totally got the whole Star Wars, my collection, and you don't need to explain these things.
You talk about that in Star Wars weddings and everything else, and with each of the prequel lines, each line actually had a couple meet and eventually get married. So it truly is like the ultimate nerd dating service.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
And
I'll have to stop by there.
Most were international couples. Yeah, most were international couples too. We actually had people from because everyone comes to the Chinese. We have people from all over the world coming to join us.
Yeah. I know. I couldn't get tickets to the Chinese. We'll have to sort this out because
we should have talked sooner, I guess.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure something
out. Yeah,
I know I'll be there within the 12-day period for sure. And
we're launching our line on December 5th, so that's our big
December 5th. Okay, got it.
The theater is doing a whole thing. We're launching at noon.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
this is great.
Hey, Vanessa, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lizzie. I'm with Zoe on Star Wars.
Hi.
And hi. I wanted to ask Hera, Vanessa, would you agree with us when we say Hera and Kanan are space married?
You'd have to ask Dave Filoni. I'm not sure. I mean, if space married means you're living in the same space and you're trying to fight an intergalactic war, and you guys know each other really well, so well that you kind of can yell at each other or hug each other goodnight, and there's a level of familiarity that is really, really sort of close and intimate, but there's not really a lot of time for that because people are dying, then maybe they're space married. There's a lot going on, I mean, maybe if after the Death Star blows up, maybe they might go out to dinner. But we have a long way to go between where we are now on the Ghost and getting Princess Leia that information so that we can ultimately destroy the Death Star. So there's a lot of road to travel.
Don't vacation on Alderaan.
Sorry, say that again.
Just make sure the two don't vacation on Alderaan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, bummer. Yeah. That would suck after all those years, holding
Someone
out.
had to say it.
That's very funny.
Hey, Vanessa, it's Eric again. Just a quick question. I know a lot of people have learned a lot from Hera, and I was just curious, what have you learned about yourself from Hera?
Well, you know that book, The Four Agreements, about not taking things personally, and Hera seems to effortlessly embody those things. I tend to be a perfectionist and care about every detail and want everything to be the best that it can be, and I think I can be mildly annoying with that. and Hera, she, what are they? Be impeccable with your word. I think she is. She chooses her words carefully. If I could delete the word dude from my vocabulary, it would be a miracle. She doesn't make assumptions, right? That's one of them. And always do your best. And, of course, don't take anything personally. She really manages to do all those things. So I've actually found myself in certain situations and having my personal reaction and then saying to myself, well, what would Hera do? And, Hera wouldn't even be bothered with any of this. Hera would be like, how can we go help someone? Let's stop talking about this. And then I would say, all right, I'm going to do what Hera would do. I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to focus on what's important and how can I be helpful? How do I get out of my own way? But so she really is just naturally such a courageous and dignified woman. I think we all have that capacity, but she has it so consistently that it really inspires me to be more like her. I guess I feel my humanity by comparison. So, what are you going to do?
It's Sean from Enchanted Tiki Talk again.
Hey.
With the rise of the female characters in the Star Wars universe, where do you see, or where do you want to see Hera go as a character in the future?
Well, I've always said I'd love for her to go back to Ryloth and, I don't know, just sort of thread that needle in terms of story. That's sort of a personal wish, but I wonder how far she'll make it. If we look ahead to episode 4 and where everyone is at that point. I mean, obviously Hera is not in A New Hope, but I hope that she makes it far enough to see the benefits of all her hard work, and to know that she's made a difference. I think that would be really rewarding for her. But actually, she would sacrifice herself for the cause, and in hopes that would be the case, she would be selfless and probably do that. But I think it would be really cool if she were near for that victory in some way.
You're making her seem like she's almost like she gave up her life as like a Bothan spy in a way. They always talk about the Bothan spies giving up their lives, for the cause. So, yeah.
Yeah. If it made strategic sense, I think she really would. That's how deeply she cares. So, I hope she makes it through. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Vanessa, it's Adam again from Jogcast Radio.
Hey!
Been a little bit of filming on the My Saga documentary for our mutual friend Adam Harris. And one thing that we brought up from the actual commentary that we were doing for Return of the Jedi 2, that we'd love to see you out here for one of the Supernova conventions, the big Comic-Cons out here in Australia. Is there any chance we can get you out here in the next couple of years?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I was hoping to come down under, if you will, for Armageddon, I think in October, perhaps. But I believe that's New Zealand, not. But there might be. I cannot remember. We'll have to sort that. Yes, I would be. I've never been to Australia, and I would love to go. And the next year is kind of wacky with work for me. But the minute I have any free time, that is the top of my list for sure. So yes,
definitely. Lots out here, eager to see you and supporting you, and definitely for also the fangirl cause as well.
Yes, that's awesome.
Hey, Vanessa.
Yes.
So,
Hey, Vanessa.
Adam, any chance you want to fly here to Man's Chinese? join the international crew.
We've got other Aussies there.
I'm going to be there.
I'm just saying.
Sometime, though.
Sometime. All right, then. Maybe episode 8.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Vanessa, Dave here again with Type Ghost Transmissions. I got to point this out. One of the funniest things, well, aside from, Chopper a la Filoni being mad at everybody, but one of the funniest things is you and Zeb. And the kind of back and forth play that goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times where I just feel watching Hera interact with Zeb, it might as well be the equivalent of a parent taking a rolled up newspaper and whacking their dog on the nose. Can you talk a little bit? Can you talk a little bit about just how you see the interaction between your character and Zeb, and just how you two are when offset, not recording?
Well, first of all, I know Hera is well aware of basically the extermination of his race and how devastated he was by that. So I think beneath any of that chiding is a deep love, care, and concern for him. She's all about justice, and I think she sort of scoops him up not only because of his strengths. Sabine has all the munitions expertise, and Zeb kind of has the muscle because he loves to sort of bash those bucket heads together. Right? But But I think it's interesting. I think that their relationship is so close that they can snap at each other. I mean, I don't know if you have a brother or a sister or a cousin or something. You guys can sort of speak in a vernacular that's sort of swift and might be mildly cutting, but you guys love each other and you don't mean anything by it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's so Star Wars too, the way Princess Leia, get this walking carpet out of my way. There's a lot going on, but I don't think she doesn't mean to really hurt Chewbacca's feelings at that point. But yeah, I think she can do that because Zeb can take it. And at the end of the day, he has a lot of heart, and he is someone that she cares very much about, and sort of seeing that at least he has a family now. So,
well, I love Zeb. I love Zeb. I'm still holding out hope that Zeb and the Gungans will meet one day.
Nice. I like it. I like how you think.
Zeb.
Let's do this.
Come on, let's do it.
The Lasats and the Gungans. Beautiful.
Hi, Vanessa. It's Kyle again from.
Okay, go ahead, Cal.
It's become such a almost something that's joined the generations of Star Wars together. What does it feel like to be kind of glue that's the pieces from Clone Wars to the original trilogy together and kind of bridging the gap between those generations?
Oh, of course, it's an honor. I've always been curious about the Rebel Alliance and the lives that were at stake and lives lost, and sort of how we went from Order 66 to, Princess Leia putting those orders in R2-D2. I've always been curious about exactly how that came to pass. And so for me, the Clone Wars really filled out, if anything, or perhaps primarily Anakin's character. And I'm really interested to see Darth Vader at this point, because, they sort of put him down about his sorcery and what have you. But this is an interesting transition time for him as well. Yeah, it's really rewarding to be involved in this particular portion of the narrative for all those reasons. And I hope that I can, for fans like myself, I hope that I can elucidate things the way the Clone Wars really, really deepened my understanding of the characters that, grew into sort of villains or heroes as the story went on. So it's pretty cool.
Hey, Hera.
You guys, this is time for one more question.
Hey, Vanessa, this is the young lady can go.
Thank you. I'm Lizzie again. So I wanted to ask, who do you think on the Ghost Crew deserves a hug the most?
Wow, that's a great question. Initially I would say Hera, but maybe Chopper. Chopper gets knocked around a lot. That poor kid, everyone kind of, I mean, I know he can be a bit of a jerk, but yeah, the people kind of kick him around a little bit. He gets all the grunt work. And the reason I would say Hera is because she is so focused on the tasks at hand that she kind of needs to mellow out a little sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I wonder what that would look like for her. It's just not in her DNA to be like, oh, I'm just going to watch TV tonight. She's just all about the solution, right? I'm just going to play a game of sabacc and kick back. I don't really see that happening. It might be nice to just kind of take her aside and say, Hera, put your leg coup up. Just relax for a minute, girl. But I don't think she needs one emotionally, as if she, is just crestfallen and needs a hug. I think Chopper probably could do with a hug. He wouldn't accept it, of course, but that's a great question.
That's an awesome question to end on.
Yay!
Vanessa, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much, you guys. And you can reach me through my website if you want, the VanessaMarshall.com, to follow up with any of the things that we talked about. And, the contact info is on there. So thank you so much, you guys. I'm so grateful that we could all talk, and I look forward to talking more in the future because there'll be so much more to discuss.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
All righty. Take care, you guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The leader has disconnected. The conference will be terminated in 5 minutes.
Opal Rancisis.